Why would Christians with a basic sense of morality and an understanding of what is spiritually right and wrong, why would Christians engage in these sexual behaviors? Well, one, just to escape conflict. If there's conflict going on and we're uncomfortable with conflict, the conflict may create a lot of anxiety. And so as a way to escape that anxiety, we may turn to some form of sexual behavior. Had an elder sat down with me one time. He said, you know, I'm not sure I'm addicted to pornography or not, but let me tell you, here's when I use it. I retreat to a different room in the house, and I use internet pornography when my wife and I are fighting. I don't do it any other time. The only purpose, the only time this has a place in my life is if there's conflict between me and my wife. Looking for acceptance. There is this myth, a very commonly believed myth, that if somebody is sexual with me, they like me. If somebody's willing to do something sexual with me, they accept me. I'm okay with them. And because there's that facade of acceptance involved in sexual activity, many people find that this is why they're engaging in the behavior. Loneliness. Loneliness is perhaps the greatest, of all the things that I've heard from people dealing with addictive sexual behaviors. Loneliness seems to be that very common thread. Over and over and over, there's a role that loneliness plays in this cycle of using sex as an escape behavior. Generation now, current adolescent generation, has been described by some professionals as the loneliest generation, feeling abandoned by all adults in their life, basically left to raise themselves, a lot of loneliness, going to school with thousands of people feeling like they're connected to none, and for many, sexual behavior provides a relief from that loneliness. Early sexual experiences. It's very common that people will repeat a sexual experience that they've had, especially if that experience occurs fairly early on in life. And there are a host of not just teens, but adults who find themselves, for some unknown reason, they can't explain it, they're not sure why, they just know it happens. They keep repeating a sexual behavior that they were exposed to early on in life. Have had opportunity to work with a number of different adolescents in the last couple of years in more of the clinical setting. And one of the common things that I see is, especially my work involves mostly adolescent males, or predominantly adolescent males. Adolescent males who do not consider themselves homosexual, do not have sexual attraction for other males, but are engaging in sexual experiences with other males because of convenience or because it has happened to them. In other words, somebody, another male, approached them at some point in their life, was sexual with them, and now they find this, they don't know why, it's just they keep kind of doing this with other guys. Want girlfriends, are very attracted to females, but because of the early sexual experience, they find themselves kind of repeating the sexual behavior. Relieve stress. Sometimes it is simply I'm stressed and I'm looking for relief. I was working with a college-age female who said, when things get hectic at school, when I have a lot of tests or it's exam time, if I feel a lot of stress at school, that's when I go and find a guy to have sex with. Basically, there's no other dynamic here. It's just at this point in my life, I'm using it as a way to escape the stress. And then boredom. Had a 12-year-old using internet pornography. We were trying to kind of isolate, okay, when is this happening? What's going on? What feelings inside are present just before you get the compulsion to go look at porn. Kind of isolate that. He said, it's just when I'm bored. I come home, there's nobody in the house. I try to go find somebody to hang out with or play with. Nobody's home. I kind of get bored with my video games, and there's just nothing else to do. And I'm so bored that then the idea to get on the internet and look at pornography comes to my mind, and I eventually find myself doing that. Now, the same 12-year-old had tried a lot of ways to not give in to the temptation, including beating his head against the wall to make it hurt so bad that it would try to stop this feeling of wanting to look at porn, which he found banging his head against the wall didn't stop the action. And then lastly, opportunity for control. Stereotypically, maybe more of a female-oriented purpose. In other words, I feel like I can control this person. I can make them do what I want them to do. I can keep them from doing things I don't want them to do. But as long as I'm openly flirtatious and kind of dangling this carrot of I'll do this sexual thing for you, I feel like I'm the one in control. And so because of that, I find myself doing these behaviors again.